Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Lollipop and today is an amazing day because we are going to be talking about another new Trek Marlin bike for 2022, which is the Marlin 6. Now this video is pretty exciting because this bike has been updated for the new year. So in this video I'll be covering all of the updates and changes to this bike from 2021 to 2022. And before I begin, if you are interested in similar videos to this, I have made several comparisons on my channel on the new 2022 Trek Marlin 4, 5, and 8, and I'll link one of those to the top right of this video right now. But let's get into it. The Marlin 6 is one of the 5 bikes in the Trek Marlin range, and it sits right in the middle above the Marlin 5 and below the Marlin 7 in terms of the price point and the components on it. The Marlin bikes in general can be used as cross-country mountain bikes or as rugged commuter bikes, since the frame on these models has mounts for a kickstand and a rear rack for all of your commuting needs. For mountain biking, the frame on this bike is shared among all of the other Marlin bikes, including the top-end Marlin 8, which is more expensive at $1,200. This Marlin 6 frame has had no updates since 2020, but I will show you the frame geometry on the screen right now. This bike is definitely more cross-country oriented, meaning that it has geometry that allows for better pedaling efficiency and uphill climbing ability over riding downhill and being more playful. But for this video, I'm going to be focusing on the parts on this bike that have been updated for 2022. So if I do not discuss a specific component in this video, like the seat post or the suspension fork, that means that that part has not changed on the bike since 2021. However, I will eventually make a video on the entire 2022 Trek Marlin lineup compared with one another to highlight all of the differences among the 5 bikes as you move up the price range. For this video, I'll be showing you all of the differences from 2021 to 2022, and I'll be completing this table at the end of the video to show all of those changes in one place. I'll also discuss my thoughts on all of these upgrades at the end of the video. Okay, let's kick this off with the price updates. In late 2020, the Marlin 6 was priced at around $650 or £530, and then eventually that price was updated to $700 or £600 in 2021, but the price has increased more to $780 or £625 for the 2022 model. Next, it's time to talk about the colors. The 2020 and 2021 Trek Marlin 6 bikes both came in the colors Alpine Blue and Radioactive Red with Trek Black accents. And both of these colors have been replaced with 4 new colors, which are Nautical Navy, Factory Orange, Matte Neaster Black with Volt Green accents, and a Rage Red to Neaster Black Fade, which is a pretty popular color in Trek's lineup right now since it's on the Fuel X8 and on the new FX4 disc as well. For the actual component updates, everything on the Marlin 6 has actually remained the same besides the drivetrain. So the brakes, the suspension fork, the wheels are all the same as the 2021 Trek Marlin 6 model, but the drivetrain upgrade is a really nice one to see since we are finally moving on to a 1x drivetrain for 2022. The old drivetrain was a Shimano Altus 2x8, which meant that there were 2 chainrings in the front crankset and 8 gears or cogs in the rear cassette, for a total of 16 different speeds. The new model goes to the Shimano Dior 1x10 drivetrain, which only has 1 chainring in the front crankset and 10 cogs in the rear cassette, for a total of 10 speeds. Now I'm going to go over all of the specific components in these drivetrains to really highlight what has been upgraded since 2021, starting with the shifters. The 2021 Marlin 6, of course, used Shimano Altus shifters for the front and rear, while the new bike goes to 1 Shimano Dior 10-speed shifter for the rear. The new shifter has a more ergonomic feel to it, but besides that, they both still have the Shimano Rapid Fire Plus technology, which allows you to shift up to 3 gears at a time when going to an easier gear for pedaling. Next, I'll talk about the derailleurs. The 2021 Marlin 6 used Shimano Altus front and rear derailleurs, which worked fine, but the new bike uses a Shimano Dior M5120 derailleur, which has a clutch mechanism to add tension on the chain. This overall decreases drivetrain noise and helps to keep the chain on the bike and prevent it from skipping gears or causing any other issues. The crankset has also been updated from the Shimano Altus 36 to 22 tooth crankset to the Pro Wheel 30 tooth crankset. Now I'll talk more about what this means after I discuss the cassettes. So the cassette has been upgraded from the Shimano Altus 11 to 34 tooth cassette to the Shimano Dior 11 to 46 tooth cassette. This new cassette has a wider range of gears, which is necessary as there is only one chainring in the front now. Okay, so now that I've covered the drivetrain differences, I'm going to talk about what they mean while riding. Having a 2x8 drivetrain is nice for commuting and general riding purposes since you have a good amount of speeds for day-to-day use and have easy gears for going uphill and harder gears for going faster. The downside to this system is that there are more components on the bike that can malfunction, and you may not even need all those speeds depending on the type of riding you are doing. For mountain biking, 1x drivetrains are preferred for this reason, so the 1x10 drivetrain on the new bike is much better. However, if you are looking to use this bike for only commuting or road riding purposes, the 2x8 may suit you better because of the wider range of speeds it offers. And if you take a look at the gear ratios on these drivetrains, the old Marlin 6 does have an easier gear for pedaling uphill and a harder gear for pedaling faster, but while mountain biking, this should not be as crucial. But before I give you too many of my thoughts, let's show you the last difference between these bikes, which is the weight. So losing some of those gears definitely decreases the weight of the bike a little bit, as the 2021 Marlin 6 weighed in at 31.97 pounds or 14.5 kilograms, while the new bike weighs 31.11 pounds or 14.11 kilograms. And those are all of the updates and upgrades for the 2022 Trek Marlin 6. Here is the completed table with all of the differences, and one thing I'll mention now is that the drivetrain on this new bike is actually the same drivetrain on the 2021 Trek Marlin 7, besides the front crankset, which is actually a 30 tooth instead of the Marlin 7's 28 tooth, and the 28 tooth just makes uphill climbing a little bit easier but sacrifices some speed in the fastest speed. Nevertheless, compared to the outgoing Marlin 6, this new one is definitely an upgrade from a mountain biking perspective, and is now a really nice beginner mountain bike for the price. I personally think it is definitely worth $80 more than the outgoing model, but once again, I'll compare all of the Marlin bikes with one another to show you the full 2022 lineup, and I'll add updates in the comments section below if anything changes for this bike. But besides that, thank you all so much for watching, and remember to keep biking.